What's up, y'all? We back at it with another chapter of Kaiju number 8. Yo, this chapter was crazy. Chapter 123. Yo, I'm not at the crib, so hopefully you guys can respect the grind and still thumb up the video. I would greatly appreciate it. But this chapter? Hey, yo, this chapter was amazing as hell, yo. I never even considered the possibility of making numerous of number weapons off of the same kaiju body. I didn't even think something like that would even be possible, but it makes sense. And the way this chapter worded it, it's almost as if our boy Ging has the Renegon from Naruto, where whatever he sees, anyone else who has the same number weapon as him sees it too. This chapter was crazy. I'm sorry, your boy's a little amp. Not only that, man, this ancient kaiju, hey, yo, he's something else. He is something else, yo. There's a scene in this chapter where he puts his blast, like he does that, like, I guess, ruin attack, and he places it on Kafka's head and rips this dude's head off. I don't think we've ever seen someone do something so vicious to Kafka. I think the closest thing was number 9 punching through his chest. And that was the closest thing, or maybe the general battle. It's between one of those two things. Other than that, I don't think nothing came as close to being as brutal of an attack to Kafka as this was. That was insane. I was looking like, yo, did he just take my man's head off? Like, yo, it's a good thing he has these kaiju powers, because if he was a human, he wouldn't have survived that. He would have died. And just seeing him do that to Kafka, who's in his like ultimate form right now, there's no one in the defense force who could stand up against this ancient kaiju. There is nobody who could, even Ging with his abilities, let's just say he was fully refreshed, he wouldn't stand a chance against this guy. At most, he might be able to dodge a few attacks, but eventually he would actually overheat and this guy would take him out. I'm just being honest with you guys. I don't think anyone in this era can take this guy down. And it's crazy to think that 400 years ago, when he ran amok, yo, I can only imagine how many people he slaughtered, because they didn't have the technology back then that the defense force has now. So this guy probably was just ripping through cities, countries, all types of stuff. And we also see an ability brought back that we haven't seen since the beginning of the series. And that's number 9 ability to reawaken kaijus that's already been killed. Now, I'm curious if that's actually number 9's ability, or is that the ability of this ancient kaiju and number 9 utilized it for himself? Now, I'm very curious which one of those it may actually be. You guys can let me know in the comment section what y'all actually think, man. But all in all, man, this chapter was a solid 10 out of 10. Like Kafka, you know what I'm saying? He did his damn thing. Kikoru, oh my gosh, yo, the fact that she got 2 numbered weapons, I wonder if this is the first time that this has ever been done. Because everybody who has a numbers weapon only has 1 numbers weapon that we know of so far. So I wonder if she's going to go down in history as the first and only defense force officer to have 2 number weapons. I wonder if that's the case. I don't know, man. Let me know down below. Maybe there was someone who had 2 number weapons and I just can't remember. I want to say she's the only one, but like, yo, she's on a whole nother level right now. Like I'm surprised and curious. I wonder why she didn't use this trump card against number 15 she was facing off against. I wonder why she didn't use that trump card against number 15, or was it pretty much where she knew she had to save it just in case something went crazy. I'm very curious what was the reason why she chose to wait till now to use it. Now I understand that it was good that she chose to wait, but I'm curious what made her make that decision. Now also, with this actually going down in this chapter, I guarantee you the next chapter we get is going to be a flashback chapter where they're pretty much going to explain the whole conversation between Ging and Kikoru and how they came up to this decision to actually, you know, have her use number 1 eyes. It might even be a situation where, you know, they're actually sparring against one another, and then he's like, yo, you can somewhat see, can't you? And then he's like, yo, I want to try something with you. Or it might even be similar to like what we got with Ging in the general, in the spin-off series Kaiju number 8 B-side, where they actually show how Ging actually got the eyes and you know, how the general actually noticed that Gin was compatible with number one weaponized. It might be a situation like that, far as in the next chapter with a flashback of Gin and Kikoru. It might be something where he feels like he's in the shoes of the general, doing what the general did to him when he first got the eyes, the number one eyes. Now, if that does turn out to be the case, I'm down for it, because that sounds like it would be goated as hell. But we about to get into this chapter, man. Again, make sure you thumb up and subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications, and I will, you know what I'm saying, greatly appreciate it. I was about to say I'll see you in the next one. You can tell your boy Amp, man. I'm thinking I'm at the end of the video already. But the chapter starts off with Kafka just, I love how confident Kafka feels right here. Like, we've never seen him this confident. Like, the last chapter and this chapter are the only two times we've seen him on the battlefield where he just feels like he's in complete control over the situation. And I really like to see this side of Kafka. Yo, he came a long way. But you got it where he's standing there, he's like, yo, please extend the restricted area of a radius of 5 kilometers, because he already know what's about to go down. He's like, yo, he's coming out. And it's crazy because what we've seen before wasn't even his true form, which is insane to me. You got it where you know, you got Hoshina like, what do you mean? And Kafka's like, yo, you got Hoshin saying like, yo, you know what this thing is? And he says like, yeah, he showed up 400 years ago. He scorched the earth during the Edo period, and he's a major historic living catalysm. And you got it where he's countless kaiju that live beneath the surface of this country. And you got it where he comes out, he's like, yo, a Dai kaiju of the Mariki, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, era. And you got everyone bearing witness to this creature come out of the body of number 9 and take his true form. But then you still got Kafka standing on the building top, looking so confident, so calm, so cool, so collective. It's like I said, man, like the way he is right now, I'm really digging it. But this creature design, yo, that's some shit. Like, if I see that, I'm running, yo. You see all these heads, all these mouths, all these eyes, and then he got hit, the way he got his hands placed together kind of remind you of what's the guy name from Naruto? He does it when he does his shot of possession jutsu, Shikamaru. Like, the way he got his hand is like Shikamaru when he's thinking. So that alone would have probably had me like, yo, nah, this dude up to something. Yo, we need to get the hell out of Dodge. But anyway, you got it where everyone's bearing witness. They all fear it. You got it where Gin says like, yo, that explains why I was seeing multiple signal sources from this guy when I was trying to read him with the number one retinas. And I don't know, man. Gin, every time you step on the scene. Every time he step on the scene, hands down, it's amazing. But you got it where this ancient kaiju does some type of scream attack towards Kafka. It shatters the buildings. It's pushing back the other defense force, high tier people, not like the low tier, like, you know, Mina and Hoshina and Gin, they all being pushed back by the force of this thing's scream. But you got it where Kafka was able to dodge it, and he's going in for a blow to strike it down, and he says it's over. But you got it where this kaiju catches the punch of Kafka, and they start exchanging blows. Now, shout out to Kafka for being able to exchange blows evenly with a creature this damn big. Because if you look at this panel where you see Kafka all small, but this creature is huge, it's just crazy to me. And then you got it where Kafka says like, yo, it turns out that he's much stronger than he was 400 years ago. First, I'll slip past him and find his core. And then that's when you see the scene I spoke of earlier where this guy puts the ruin across Kafka's face and rips his head off. This was insane. You got it with Kafka saying like, yo, he's grown even more in force. And like I said earlier, I've never seen anyone do an attack so brutal against Kafka. He's like, yo, I need to find a way to get near him. And then this guy unleashes a scream. He unleashes a scream, and I'm not gonna lie, this part right here when he does this scream, it really gave me Attack on Titan vibes. I don't know how many of y'all felt the same way, but it really gave me Attack on Titan vibes where this guy did this type of scream, and you know, Titans just start running to the area where to attack the humans. That's the vibe I got. But he does this scream, and next thing you know, all the numbers of kaijus that was defeated by the defense force in this war, they start to reawaken. They start to get back up, you know, with bruises and all included. You even see the kaijus that faced off against Hoshina as well as Kikoru. Those two identified number kaijus, they start getting up as well. You even see the one that did the warp gate, he's starting to get back up. And it's crazy because the defense force, these guys are very exhausted and fatigued right now because they just finished fighting and killing all these kaijus, and you telling me you gotta fight them again? But if it's just like when number 9 used the ability, these guys probably coming back a bit stronger than they were the very first time that we encountered them. That's how it was when number 9 did it. But I do like the fact that we see a little panel of Hoshina's brother, and he's like putting his tongue out like, ugh, gross. And you know he's a captain as well. So I just thought that was a hilarious ass moment that they snuck in there. You know, out of everybody's face, they snuck his face in there. But anyway, you got it where these kaijus are getting up, they're walking, and they're trying to figure out the range of these reawakened kaiju. And then that's when they say, like, it's all of Japan. And that's insane that this guy's that strong where he was able to awaken every defeated kaiju in all of Japan. It's just insane to me. It's insane. But you got it with Mina, she's being attacked by kaiju. You got it with the other defense force warriors are being attacked by kaiju. And then Hoshina, he lost his tail to his suit. So I'm curious how his fighting style is going to be. But number 10 is probably going to be excited for it. Number 10 probably going to be like, yo, let's get it. But you got it where Kafka goes back in to attack this ancient kaiju. The ancient kaiju puts the ruins all around his body, kind of like a barrier. Kafka can't get close to him. Next thing you know, he starts attacking Kafka, sending him flying back, and Kafka is realizing that he can't get Nero. And then that's when you have Hoshina, who actually realized the only way we can beat this guy with retina numbers weapon 1. That's the only way to do it. And you got it with Gin, he's actually cutting through kaiju and saying like, yo, he could use the foresight to open up a path. But you got it where Hoshina says you don't have the strength left to use it. He's like, yo, I'm not going to do it. And this shit was so cold. Next thing you know, you see Kafka on the verge about to get attacked, and you see some blasters come out of nowhere, and they happen to hit this ancient kaiju in the right spot. And then you have it where Gin is like, yo, I assume you've already studied his movement patterns through my vision in advance, meaning they share sight. That right there indicate that they share sight. And then you have it where Gin also says, well, my dumb disciple. And they show your girl Kikoru on top of the rooftop with a gun, also with her battle axe behind her. And she says, that's a foolish question. And you see she has the retinas of number 1 as well. So it seems as if it's shared eyesight between both people who have it. And I think that's dope as hell. Like I said, it reminds me of the Renegon from Naruto. All in all, man, this chapter was amazing as hell. I'm just amped to see what happens next. Now, I do want to see what happens on the battlefield next, but like I said earlier, I know for a fact that we're going to get a flashback chapter, or at least most of the chapter will be flashback, and then it might jump back to present day towards the end of the chapter. But yo, Kikoru's back, and I said I wanted her to get some payback against this ancient kaiju as well as number 9, because they kind of were involved in the father, that her father being devoured. Now, it would be crazy if the father still has some type of effect on the body of this ancient kaiju, because he is in there with number 9. So there's a chance that he might actually come to the forefront, and he might create an opening for the guys to be able to take him down. That's very possible. But now that we got Kikoru involved, I still want Reno to get involved. I want Reno to showcase what he's learned, what he has acquired over the time that he spent training without Kafka. I feel like what we got from him was amazing. It was dope to see, but I felt like it wasn't enough. I want him to actually be standing there next to Kafka, and Kafka sees how much more powerful Reno is. Now, granted, he's seen that to a certain extent before, but I feel like that was short-lived. That was too short a moment. With all the build-up we had to, Reno getting as powerful as he is now, that payoff wasn't big enough for me. It wasn't. I mean, it was good, but it wasn't enough, and I need more. So hopefully we get Reno joining in the battle. I would like to say Gin and Hoshina as well, and Mina, but I feel like they're probably more fatigued than anyone else. So I don't know if we're going to see them return to the battlefield. But y'all guys could let me know y'all thoughts and theories on it. How y'all feel about it? If you want them to return to the battlefield, or if you feel like it should just be Kafka and Kikoru doing it to the bitter end, let me know. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this one, man. But yo, this chapter was amazing, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.